I promised myself I would not cry, but I'm not fulfilling that message. Good morning, everyone. Madam Chancellor, Madam President, Chair of the Board, faculty, graduates, and guests, good morning. In the grand Nova Scotia tradition of making family connections, better known around here as who's your people, or what's your father's name, let me start by telling you how I'm related to the Mount. You have to follow this. My great-grandmother's first cousin, Edna O'Connor, known as Sister Maria Pius, was one of 6 women from the Port Hood area who joined the Sisters of Charity, who founded and continue to play a critical role in this wonderful institution. This information was passed on to me not through family stories or history, but via an email that I received from my high school history teacher in Port Hood after he learned from a friend that I was to be recognized today. Only in Nova Scotia does this happen. I hope that Sister Maria would be proud today. I'm certainly very humbled. It's a particular honor to be here and to be recognized by a university that is synonymous with the advancement of women, a university at the forefront of inclusion. Growing up in Cape Breton, I had no idea that I would ever stand on a podium like this. My young self would have been amazed to think that I would ever have a job on Wall Street in New York City, one that involved traveling the world, meeting with presidents and prime ministers, being interviewed by the New York Times, serving as an advisor to Fortune 100 CEOs. But I'm here because I had role models. Strong family values, strong women who rolled up their sleeves and did what needed to be done, often in difficult circumstances, but with a deep commitment to serving their families and their communities. They all encouraged a young girl with big dreams to pursue those dreams wherever they might lead. Equally important, they shared with me their belief in family and community, their values of hard work, fairness and honesty, and their faith that every single person can make a difference in the world. I am so grateful to all of those women and know that they stand with me today. And what a place to stand with a diverse group of women and men united in celebration and joined by a common bond of achieving an important milestone. The sense of community we experience today, a sense of belonging, is a gift and a powerful force, particularly when we think about the world outside this room, where too many people feel isolated, alone, or like the other. Tom Friedman, the New York Times columnist, wrote in his most recent book, Thank You for Being Late. He tells the story of asking the Surgeon General of the United States, what is the most significant and prevalent illness facing the country? And his answer was not what we might all expect it would be. His answer was isolation. Upon reflection, that answer is understandable, because the truth is that each of us have experienced that feeling at some point in our lives, in ways big or small. From being bullied on the playground, to being ostracized for your sexual orientation, from being talked over as the only woman in the boardroom, to being harassed because of the color of your skin, from feeling alone in the face of physical abuse to being alienated because of a mental illness. We've all experienced this kind of exclusion at school, at work, in our communities. Moments when the words and actions of others tell us that being different is bad. Moments that have held us back and kept us silent. Thankfully, this feeling is fleeting for many of us. It passes as we grow up, seek care and community, and gain confidence from mentors and sponsors and our accomplishments and life experience. But for others, it's a constant burden they can't escape. It weighs them down, holds them back, every moment of every day. They don't get the gift of the feeling of togetherness and community that we have here today. They only feel otherness, isolated, and alone. The social, economic, and human cost of this exclusion is devastating, and it's senseless. Together, we are always stronger, at work, at home, at play, at school. When everyone has a place, we are a better place. That's why my life's work has been devoted to creating workplaces and communities that don't exclude, but include everyone. I spent a dozen years at Catalyst working to advance women in business. And now, as I've moved to the Center for Addiction and Mental Health in Toronto, I'm working to inspire a movement to improve patient care and research for people and their families facing mental illness. At the end of the day, both Catalyst and CAMH are about inclusion, both combating myths and stereotypes so that we don't exclude people simply because we are uninformed, both working to ensure that every Canadian has the opportunity to reach their full potential. And there's certainly a link between the work at Catalyst on workplace inclusion and the work I'm now doing at CAMH. Catalyst research found that minority employees pay a huge emotional tax from having to navigate workplaces where they are constantly on guard for discrimination. This tax is paid in lost sleep, a reluctance to voice ideas, in health problems, and even in family breakdowns. What a terrible and senseless price to pay for the color of your skin. People with addictions or mental health issues are faced with similar exclusion. In fact, mental illness is now the leading cause of disability in the workplace, with 500,000 Canadians missing work each week due to a mental illness. Yet because society tends to define individuals by their problems, not by their abilities, many people don't acknowledge their problems, often until it's too late. After I told people that I was leaving Catalyst to join CAMH, business leaders, friends, family, and CEOs started sharing personal stories of mental health issues within their own workplaces. In one case, a CEO told me how he felt that he had failed one of his colleagues by not recognizing the signs, assuming that it was just the typical kind of stress that is accepted as normal in many workplaces until there was a serious incident. All too often, we don't talk about mental illness until it's too late, which is why the new advocacy campaign launched by CAMH is so compelling and so important. Mental health is health. Like my CEO friend, examining our own behaviors and beliefs for the unconscious biases we might have that can often hurt others can be painful and difficult. Sometimes we don't like to find what we see in our deepest corners. But that kind of deep reflection and mind shift is the only way we can begin to change. It's the only way that we can actually have the much-needed conversations with ourselves and with others that will open our eyes and stop us from excluding and start including everyone. When we assume that a woman doesn't want a foreign assignment because she has young children, when we assume that we shouldn't share stories of our celebrations with people of a different religion, when we don't seek to find the cause of a coworker's unusual behavior, we're denying them the opportunities to participate fully in our workplaces and communities. We are making them the other, excluding them from the chance to come together and find unity, common ground, and shared success. Otherness can divide us against them. It can tear us apart, or it can provide the perspective and empathy we need as human beings to foster understanding, to allow us to walk in each other's shoes. There's a fable about a bear and a wolf who meet in the snow, two very different animals who are not normally friends. But on this night, instead of reacting with fear and hostility, they come together with open hearts and curiosity. What could have been a battle becomes a magical journey to know each other. And so as I reflect on this occasion for today's graduates, I say to you that what impresses me most about the next generation of leaders is your open hearts, open minds, and acceptance of difference. So as you go out into the world, I have a favor to ask. Remember that bear or wolf, we are all the other in some way. Never forget that. Use your open hearts and open minds kindly. Make room for everyone. Take the time to truly know each other. Build bridges of understanding and let otherness unite us. Recognize the common ground it offers to celebrate difference and better understand ourselves and others. Use it as a transformative force for togetherness. When you do this and accept this responsibility based deeply on the values of this institution, I promise not only will you be happier and successful, but our world will be a better, more inclusive place. Congratulations and thank you.